The Top 100 Showcase is tonight and tomorrow. Actually, I'm thinking about the girls are tonight, correct?
Yep. Yeah, and then guys tomorrow.
The first time coaches are going to be able to go out and watch guys play, watch kids play, girls as well today, but watch players play, actually see them, and so they can sit behind the basket and make sure they've got their their school stuff on so they can be seen. That's another advantage Indiana has now. They've got Mike Woodson. The coach can be seen out of a crowd now instead of having to look for him. Oh yeah. There he is, standing right. Oh, he's standing up. Oh, yeah. No, he's sitting down. That's Mike Woodson sitting down. I figure you can get those jokes on your own there, folks. But yeah, it makes a big but it does make a big difference having a Mike Woodson in that gym. Those kids, because this continues, I think the chatter in the beginning of people, the recruiting chatter and the college game crap that was, I don't know who was stirring that crap up because it's just a joke, but I think it was actually good because it got a lot of talk going. It got a lot of chatter. So it got these kids listening to what are they talking about? And then all of a sudden it comes, what? He's done. Boom. And then they quickly learn, dude's an NBA guy, knows all these NBA people, and man, poof, it's off. They're all in. So he's already a known commodity. Even to these kids, I think, even to these kids who did not know who Mike Woodson was 4 months ago. My opinion.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, most of these kids, if they didn't know all the specifics, they knew he was from the NBA. They knew he played and coached. They may not have known all the history behind his career, but if they didn't know it, their parents did or their coaches did, and they learned pretty quickly exactly kind of what he was all about. And that has just carried over into the last month and a half here, and especially the last probably 3 to 4 weeks, just with now these recruits being able to talk to him in person and pretty much just being blown away by not only his demeanor, but the stories that he's playing the NBA, playing at IU, and then being able to actually hear and see what his vision is like for them. And that's the biggest thing, bringing that kind of NBA style in that development to the college game. Obviously, you see it around the college game now with alumni coming back to their specific universities, especially with Juwan Howard and kind of what he's been able to do. And a lot of people are looking at Mike Woodson to kind of follow that same path. But I mean, you just see all the excitement around having an NBA level player and coach back at that university and the development. Every single kid and every single coach that I talk to, they're just excited for the opportunity to be seen by someone who knows what it takes to get to the next level. And I think that's the biggest thing, is not only trusting now what he has to say in terms of where they have to get better, what they need to focus on, because he does know what it takes to get there. And just before, obviously the past staff didn't do a great job of developing players to get to the next level. So it was always, more difficult to preach that and make that pitch to a high level 5-star or even high 4-star player, or just any player around the country. And that's why I think you saw a lot of the struggles of going outside of the state for Archie Miller. But at this point, you look at what Mike Woodson's being able to do. Most of these guys that are getting on campus now are all out of the state of Indiana. And that's because they know of Mike Woodson. They know what he can do. And they know that he knows what it takes to get to the next level. And that's what a lot of these kids want to hear. And they're going to trust what he has to say because he knows how to get there.
Exactly. I've talked about that. That was one of the gigantic failures of Archie Miller. Could not land. No one's going to come play for him outside of the state because Indiana didn't mean anything to them. But now this is you have to have elite players to be elite. They're still going to get all the Indiana kids they need in the future, but you have to have the elites, and they come from everywhere. And like Tamar Bates, to me also is another key element. Rob Cassidy talked about how important it was, but that was the domino. That was the first domino that fell, and it's like ever since then, it's just been knocking over dominoes like you've set them up to fall down.
Yeah, absolutely. And then his quote was, winning that Tamar Bates battle really kind of showed people what that Indiana program was going to be under Mike Woodson. And that's exactly true. And the fact that he was able to land Tamar Bates after Indiana really not being involved in his prior recruitment and doing that in basically just a little over a week is still incredible for a guy for that caliber and having that many offers and having that much talent. But the connection that he was able to make with that entire family and the fact that they knew exactly what that plan was for him when he came to IU and not sugarcoating anything, not promising anything. You hear it all the time from players not wanting to be recruited over, but at the same time to be pushed. And that's exactly what's told Tamar Bates. And ever since then, you just see all these kids wanting to be part of the program and these kids taking unofficial visits to Indiana without even holding an offer yet. And that just speaks a lot of what the staff has been able to do in such a short period of time.
Yeah, I saw somebody post something similar to this yesterday. Van says, should have gotten Mike Woodson after Mike Davis left. Yeah, there's a lot of should haves they should have done on the coaching hiring at Indiana, but that's for sure. It's what it's taken. Well, this is what it's taken to get back to where they're trying to get back to. But do you know why? Because there was a mandate to get away from where they were. They were mandated by the school administrators to get away from the Bob Knight thing, the Bob Knight people, all that. That was mandated by Indiana University. So the reason they're here is because of Indiana University. Don't lose that. But they're back to getting that where. They're not back yet, but I don't think it's going to be I think this is not a turnaround. This is not a rebuild. I don't know that there's really any more rebuilds. There will be any more rebuilds. With the transfer portal, it's almost no such thing now. You can call it a rebuild, but you can go into any place, anywhere now, and the transfer portal is the grocery store of athletes. You can go in aisle 5. Hey man, I need a 6'6" tight end. That's down on aisle 6. All right, hey, I need a 6'10" center. That's down there. That's in the back in the dairy section. It's basically going to the grocery store. You get what you need, and you build your teams. And they're quite capable of doing that. And when you have successful programs, that's going to be even more. You're going to have even more people wanting to come there that are polished. So that's going to be that high school balance of getting a high school kid, developing that talent, or just plucking someone that's already ready to go.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot shorter of a leash on coaches now across college basketball because of what you just said. There's really you're not going to have to give coaches 3, 4, 5 years to now try to build their system and build their program because of the transfer portal. You can go in and get someone who's played 3, 4 years of college basketball and plug them into your system or just your team and expect them to perform at the highest level. And you don't have to wait for a freshman to come along and reach that junior year where they should be contributing. So I think you're going to see a very big shift also in just how programs deal with coaches and deal with a couple losing seasons, just because I think you're going to lose the majority of teams if they're not a very, very good program. And I say program by, what goes on not only off the court, but also with the alumni base and the fan base. But if you look at the programs around the country, you're going to lose a lot of that kind of family atmosphere now if you're not really bought in and focused on continuing to build that kind of lifestyle after college. And you hear a lot about, some programs have their hashtags on Twitter, called the family or the brotherhood or anything like that. Certain ones are definitely more real than other ones. I think you look at
LAO.
Yeah, well, exactly. And you see what Tom Allen is doing with that. And that's really going to be a huge point of emphasis, I think, moving forward for college basketball, even if they're just one and done players, even if they're just guys who come in for 1 year out of the transfer portal, but you're really going to have to focus on exactly what that person is going to bring chemistry wise, because it's going to mean a lot more than just that skill set. Because if you are just going to get him for 1 year, you're going to have to make sure that he's going to fit in immediately.